Yeah, those things could literally eat a person.
Yeah, it was big enough, that's for sure. And so just the sight of it scared the heck out of me.
So where were you? Were in the Atlantic?
Yeah.
How far away were you from like Florida? Like where were you at?
We were just off the coast of Key Largo.
Okay, because
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like they live down there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an enormous fish, man.
Huge.
I've seen videos of people catching them off of boats, and it seems surreal. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's one.
It's like a giant largemouth bass.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's like. Like if you go bass fishing, they're so similar to bass, like in the way they look.
Yeah, now imagine like...
Jesus Christ, look at that thing.
Yeah. Imagine like being eye to eye with that thing in the middle of the dark Atlantic with no scuba tank.
They're delicious too, I bet. Like I don't know if they taste as good as regular grouper.
I wasn't gonna. So you get a different. Yeah, I wasn't gonna find out.
Look at the mouth on that thing. Good Lord.
I'll tell you another quick story about down there. So I went out for a night dive once, and I spent the beautiful thing about saturation diving like this is you can do basically infinite time, bottom time. You're not limited to like 60 minutes. You can stay out there for 6 hours, whatever. So I was out doing this night dive, and I found this beautiful shrimp, and it was just spectacularly gorgeous. It was like translucent. You could see through it. You could see its organs move, like internal organs, like doing their thing. And I stared at it for at least like an hour, just held my light on it and just sat there and stared at it. And it was really beautiful. And I come back inside the habitat, and I'm kind of hungry. And the best space food we got is shrimp cocktail. And I pulled that thing off the shelf, and I'm like, oh, that looks good. Then I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it, man.
You felt bad because you just saw
bad.
the shrimp? Wow.
I ate it the next day.
The next day.
Yeah.
But for that day, though, you really felt bad.
I felt bad.
Wow. Grouper, you would have felt bad? Like a nice grouper sandwich? You
It
ever have a
scared
nice
me.
grouper
So I think
sandwich in
I would
Florida?
have been okay with that after. It's because it was.
Yeah, I wonder if they've ever eaten people. Because it seems like they could, they swallow giant fish. It seems like if you're not a large person, they might be able to just suck you right in there. You know?
See, now, if this happens to me again, I'm going to be even more freaked out.
I feel like I've read that grouper have bitten people before.
Yeah.
Like probably trying them out. Like if they get hungry, if you're that big, you probably have to eat so much.
Yeah, just nonstop, buffet for those guys. And, yeah.
So when you're down there and you're doing all the swimming, you're using a rebreather?
No,
You're using tanks, regular
tanks.
scuba tanks? And what is the capacity of these tanks? Like how long can you stay down just swimming around for?
We have two, and we can isolate them in case one of them springs a leak. But you don't have that much more time than a standard scuba tank. But we have is refill stations all around the floor with high pressure hoses. So we have these quick disconnects on our system that you can plug in and fill it right back up, and then you're good to go for another couple hours.
So when you swim to go take a poo, you have to do that? You have to wear the tank, or do you just hold your breath?
Just hold your breath. You're not going that far.
How far are you going?
Like 15 feet or so.
In total pitch black.
Yeah. There is a light on the gazebo, but that's all.
So you see that light out there, and you know if you get to there, that's where you're pooing.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to be so strange.
Yeah.
What was it like to get back from that? I probably feel it seems like it would be real similar to getting back from space.
Yeah, it is. The thing about it, what makes it such a great training exercise psychologically is if you had to get to a hospital, it takes about the same time from that habitat as it would from the space station. In both cases, it takes about a day. Like in the space station, you got to get in the Soyuz, you got to put your spacesuit on, you got to detach the Soyuz from the space station, you got to separate from the space station, you got to do a deorbit burn, you got to land, the helicopter's got to come get you. By the time all that's done, it's like a day.
And the Soyuz is a Russian craft.
Yeah.
So we have to use Russian crafts to get back from the space station.
Right now, we have to use Russian craft to go and come back.
How weird is that?
It's not cool.
What happened?
All right. So it's not good. None of us are happy about this. But what happened was the shuttles, let me just say this, is a magnificent flying machine. I mean, what's really remarkable, if you go down to like the California Science Center and you look at Endeavour, we designed that thing in the 70s. Like, it doesn't even have a microwave. All right, it's got a conventional convection oven.
Wow.
So it's like ancient technology. The flight computers on that thing, your Apple Watch could run circles around them. I mean, it's like nothing. They're so primitive, but it took off like a rocket. It landed like an airplane. You could carry people. You could carry the Hubble Space Telescope in a trunk. You could do a spacewalk from it. Has a robot arm that you see there. Yeah, there's Endeavour. So that's my flight, actually. That's STS-123. In the middle, that's the robot that we put together.
Wow.
But anyway, it's an incredible machine, and we'll never design anything like it, maybe ever again, certainly not anytime soon. So despite its technological incredibleness, for lack of a better word, it had a couple key limitations. One was it's not that safe. So we lost 2 of them, Challenger and Columbia. And we could talk about that. I knew the guys in Columbia, and that was really, really rough. And then the second thing was it's super expensive because it took so much maintenance, even though it was reusable, or most of it was. It took so much maintenance. It took a standing army to keep it running. We're spending, I think, $3 or $4 billion a year on the program. And there's no way, if we wanted to build something that was going to be more cost-effective or safer, there's no way we're going to get a plus up from Congress of like an additional $4 billion a year to go do that. The only way really to make it happen was to stop flying the shuttle. So we took a very painful decision, and we said, okay, we're going to retire these things so we can make something new. And we know that there's going to be a gap period where we're not going to have anything, and it's going to suck. But the good news is and the great timing about this conversation right now is that gap ends this year.
Really?
Yeah. 2020 is when that painful period is put to rest.
And what happens?
We're going to have a SpaceX Dragon.
SpaceX Dragon?
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we're going to have a brand new ship. And not only the Dragon, we're going to have the Boeing Starliner. And then we have 2 other private companies that are going to be launching people this year. It's incredible, these 4 companies all trying to put humans into space with private companies.
Yeah.
And the schedules are just aligning, so it's all looks like it all will happen in 2020.
Now, they've done some civilian trips up into space, right?
They have, and that's all happened by paying the Russians.
That's what it is?
For rides, yeah.
Why is their equipment so much better?
It's not. It's the only game in town. Once we retired the shuttles, there was nothing else available.
But I would be like, hey, how well are you guys maintaining these things?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, tell me what's your maintenance schedule?
It's been a little scary lately because they've had some mishaps, right?
Like what?
Well, we had a launch go squirrely where the rocket didn't work right, and they